Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making an aspen leaf to go with our other fall leaves that I'm going to be doing later on. I have looked all over for an aspen leaf and I found one on YouTube and it was absolutely gorgeous, but it was too big and it looks very complicated. So I wanted to do a smaller one for reference. That's the size. So I made up this pattern. So let's get started. I'm going to be using a number 4.0 hook. That's my favorite. I always use those. And I'm going to be using gold yarn today because it's easier to see against the brown background. The first thing to do is make a chain of 10. Now at this point, this is where you would do the slip knot, but I don't want a slip knot at the back of my leaf. So I'm just going to leave it loose and then start chaining. 1, 2, 3, and 10. When we start our work, we're going to go to the back of the chain, and normally I go into those humps, but we're not going to do that this time. We're going to go into the side of the humps, which is the actual chain itself. So you're going to skip the first one, find that second hump. Next to that hump, you are going to see a chain. Go into the side of it and do a slip stitch. Go into the side of the next chain and do a single crochet. Then the side of the next chain, and do a half double crochet. And we're going to do 2 of those half double crochets, so go into the next one, half double. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets into the next 2 chains. Then a half double. Oops, half double, there we go. A single. And a slip stitch. Figured you guys knew what that was. All right, there we are so far. Here's our knot. It's getting tighter and tighter, but I'm not going to tighten it up. Now, instead of turning our work and going back up here, we are going to always work on this side of the leaf. So we are going to go around in a circle and come up the other side. So here you can see the humps, and here you can see the other sides of the chains that we're going to go into. We are going to do exactly the opposite of what we did on this side. We ended up with a slip stitch, so we're going to start with a slip stitch. The second one will be the single crochet, and then half double, and just work our way back up, doing exactly, I guess it's a mirror image, not the opposite, but a mirror image. So start with a slip stitch. Now, if I can do this with only 5 fingers, I'll be good. This is our knot that I did not tie because I don't want it to be tied tight, although it is tightening up, but that's okay. So this is our first chain, and we're going to do a slip stitch into it. The next one will be a single crochet. That one I just did the slip, so here's the single. Then a half double. And we're just going into the side of the chain. We're leaving the humps there. And 2 double crochets. And 2 half doubles. Single. And a slip stitch. At the top we're going to chain 1, and we're going to start down this side. So now this is our second round, essentially. We went down one side, up the other. Now we're going to go down this side, make the stem, and come up the other. So in the back loop only, we are going to do a slip stitch, then a single crochet, back loop only, half double crochet, 2 double crochets, now we're going to do a triple crochet or treble crochet if you would prefer. The treble with trebles. In the same stitch we're going to do that. So triple crochet, treble crochet, pull through 2 for 1 crochet, pull through 2 loops for the second crochet, and pull through 2 loops for the third crochet. 1 more treble crochet in that same stitch that we just did. Then in the next stitch, we are going to do a double, and a half double in the same stitch. Half double. Gosh, I have something about those half doubles, don't I? And then 2 slip stitches, each in their own stitch. 1, 2. Remember, go to the back loop if you got a back loop. Now at this point, it almost looks off-centered a little bit because you think the center is right beneath that line. But remember, we still have to come up this side. So this is the center. So we are going to make our stem. For that, you will chain 7. And this time you are going to be coming up in the loops, or in the humps in the back. So the first hump is right there, skip that one. Second hump is right here. And you are going to slip stitch 6. Then you are going to do 2 slip stitches. We just did this stitch, so we're going to do this stitch right here. First slip stitch and second slip stitch. Now you may notice my yarn is splitting a lot. This is very cheap yarn, but it's the best gold color I have, so that's why I'm using this for fall. Okay, our last row coming up is the opposite of this one, or is the mirror image, I guess, of this one. So we just did 2 slip stitches like we did down here. Then we are going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch and a double crochet in that same stitch. Then here comes the treble crochets. Treble, 2 treble crochets in this stitch. Same stitch. After the 2 trebles, we are going to do 2 doubles, double crochets in their own stitch. 2 double crochets, and they each get their own stitch. Then a half double, a single, and 2 slip stitches. 1 and 2, and the 2 should be like almost at the very, very top. Then at this point you are going to chain 1 and slip stitch 1 into the same stitch you just did. There, see how it makes that nice point? All right, you can cut this off. And we're going to weave in 2 ends now. This is the back. Now, if we were going to continue with the stitch and crochet the next stitch, it would go over here. So when you sew it in, make sure you do the same side that it would normally go into, and don't swing it over here to sew it in, because see, it kind of looks weird. And don't pull it too tight, just tight enough to make that point. Grabbed a little too much there. We're just trying to take this yarn out right here. And then pull it through so it tightens up a little. Okay, but there's no knot there to feel weird. Now this you can sew in wherever, because you can't see it on the front. And there is your aspen leaf. Now, spring, summer, fall, they will all work for any time of year. All right, thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video.